The Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year. That's right, 46 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. Welcome back, our first program of the year. We've got a lot to talk about, and today is something to celebrate, even though it's a day late. Yesterday, don't look for this in the news, they're not going to tell you this, at least not in the way I'm going to share it with you. But January 1st, yesterday, was a big day. Do you know that 160 years ago yesterday, the Republicans freed the slaves? That's right. The Emancipation Proclamation 160th anniversary was yesterday. Didn't see it anywhere in the news, but I thought I'd share it with all of you. Isn't that absolutely amazing? Republicans freed the slaves 160 years ago. And you have a media and Democrats running the country right now obsessed with slavery and forgot to mention that. Well, maybe they'll get to it at some point, at another date. The 5th of never. That's when they'll report that. But anyway, welcome to the program. There's a lot to talk about today. We want to talk about, we started the year off with a really good story, and that is that this Idaho killer has been caught, who's a complete psycho sociopath, and he reminds me so much of Ted Bundy. I know a lot of you guys don't remember Bundy. I think a lot of you do, but he's a Ted Bundy type. And this is what I mean by this. You know, Ted Bundy, he didn't graduate, but he was in law school, and he represented himself in his trial, and Ted Bundy's trial was in Miami, and when his trial was over, the judge even complimented Ted Bundy and said if his life had taken a different direction, he would have been a great attorney. And when Ted Bundy was running around serial killing, I don't think they had criminology as we know it today as a major in our universities. But many people have said over the years, I hadn't thought too much of it till they got this lunatic from the Idaho killings, but Ted Bundy, many people have said and believe that have studied Bundy that he went to law school so that he could learn to beat the system, the legal system. And that makes a lot of sense. I certainly could see that. And this Idaho killer obviously was studying criminology because, well, one, he was fascinated with it and fantasized, but so that he could beat the system. And a lot of very strange and disturbing things are coming out from this guy. You know, I interviewed on my podcast a couple years ago a survivor of Ted Bundy's. She was in the sorority house at Florida State where he killed everyone, and she played dead. It was a fascinating interview, if I say so myself, but it was interesting. But this guy is a complete sociopath, and we're finding now there's a BTK connection, which I'm going to get to here in the beginning. And this guy, I don't think there's going to be much of a trial because of this BTK connection. But I wanted to share this one clip with you, and then we'll talk about it. And I would love to hear your calls on everything involving this Idaho killer, because it's definitely a lot of good. Hold on, just slow down. It's definitely good news and a great way to start off the year that we got this killer. So this is actually from News Nation, which is very, very good. I haven't watched News Nation since that jail guard broke out her boyfriend, and they had great coverage on that. And News Nation does some pretty good coverage on things like this, much better than the rest of cable news, because the rest of cable news, all they care about is bringing down Trump, so they don't do any news, just reporting trash on President Trump. But when you got these crime things going on, News Nation does some pretty good stuff. So listen, this is News Nation over the weekend.
One of the most disturbing aspects of BRYAN KOHLBERG's past is what he was studying, criminology, and who he was studying under at DeSales University in Pennsylvania. Dr. Catherine Ramsland, a serial killer expert who had a close relationship with serial killer BTK, even writing his autobiography.
Okay. I don't know if this report, you don't write someone's autobiography. She wrote a biography of him, unless Rader's name is on it too, like the person it's about. You write biographies, you don't write autobiographies. I'm a little confused about that. I'll just say that he misspoke, but he probably doesn't know what he's talking about. But anyway, I'll play more of this. But this BTK connection, this is why I don't think there's going to be much of a trial. BTK didn't have a trial. He pled guilty to avoid the death penalty, but that wasn't the real reason that BTK pled guilty. The reason he pled guilty is he was in, if I remember correctly, Kansas, and they had a deal in the way it worked in a case like this. When someone pled guilty, they would have to go before the court and confess their crimes. And BTK was loving that. He went up in front of the judge and just went through every detail of everything he did. It was carried live on television, and it was disgusting. And he loved it, BTK, because he got to brag about everything that he had done. And this guy, who thankfully he spells Brian with a Y differently than I spell mine. I spell mine with an I, this guy. If in Idaho they have that same process where he'll have to go on television and confess all the details of what he did, he'll plead guilty today if he can do that, because this guy wants to brag. You look at that mugshot, he doesn't seem to mind that he got arrested. This guy cannot wait to talk. Now, if they don't let him go through that process and they have televised trials in Idaho, and this will be televised, he may challenge it. This guy wants to confess. He wants to brag about everything he did, but he also would probably very much like to have a very long, drawn-out trial so that he can have more attention drawn to himself about everything he did. And I was reading they got him from DNA tests through the family. So, and this is one of a number of killers that have been, some serial killers have been picked up this way. The Golden State Killer they got this way. People in their family sent in DNA tests for like 23andMe and one of those things, and that's how they got this guy. Someone in his family had done one of those DNA tests somewhere, and they got a family connection, and then they started to go to work. This leaked out over the weekend. And, you know, I have never had a DNA test done from one of these things, and I've told people so many times, don't do it, that the government is setting up a DNA database. Yeah, the Golden State Killer, they got him the same way. They're setting up a DNA database. And a lot of people may say, well, Brian, why do you care? Why do you care if they got your DNA if you're not doing anything? Well, you know, in America, we're presumed innocent until proven guilty. Of course, I've done nothing. But this idea that the government has a DNA database that they've done through all these companies, which for all I know are front companies for the deep state, all these DNA companies. Remember 2 or 3 years back, they were practically giving these DNA tests away. You could get your whole DNA profile done for like $20, $25, and everyone was doing it. And they had all the celebrities doing it and everything else. And then people did it like crazy. My daughter did it because she's adopted and she wanted to know what her background was. She has no idea. Now she knows. And found out that not only is she black, but she's also Native American Indian, more so than Elizabeth Warren and some other things. But I've never done it because I just don't trust the government to have this DNA database. Now, you know, because when the government has DNA, they not only can match DNA, but, you know, if anyone has a DNA database, right? Anyone, not just our government, anyone has a DNA database of every living person, right? And then they do this however many degrees of Kevin Bacon separation they're doing, that they find these killers like this guy and the Golden State Killer and all that, which, I mean, those are good things that they got these guys. But not only, if you have a database with everyone's DNA, not only can you match DNA, but can't you plant DNA? If you have everyone's DNA, can't you plant it too? I'm not crazy about I have never done the DNA test. I'll never do it. And I've been telling people for years not to do it. I tried to get my daughter not to do it. And this is something that's going to be around forever and ever. You know, in 200-300 years, your descendants, they're going to be monitoring and tracking with the DNA database that you began by sending in your cheapo thing because you wanted to find out if you're really Italian or Norwegian or something stupid like they put on television. It's ridiculous. So no DNA test for me. I think it's very dangerous. But anyway, let's take our first break of this Monday morning edition of the program. I'll get back. I want to play more of this on BTK. We'll talk more about the Idaho killer and take your calls on it as well. And it's been a long time since. It's hard for me to believe that this was his first killing, that this guy is not just went in and killed these 4 kids and he's never killed before. I'd be pretty surprised to find out that these are the only killings he's ever done. It seems that's typically not how these things operate. And he was too calm, cool, and collected on the whole process too. So our number toll free 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Am I the only one who's paranoid about getting the DNA test? Am I paranoid or am I smart? I shouldn't describe myself as paranoid. I don't think I'm paranoid about it. I just don't trust having a DNA database with my DNA. I just don't like the whole idea of it. Anyway, let's take our first break of the day. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Bryan Kohlberg on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Cataract surgery season. Middleman Eye Center is offering the next
Welcome. Make sure you guys like the video, and if you're new, subscribe.
new lenses and a new office-based surgery experience awaits you. Contact
Who owns it? I don't know. CIA, MSN, I don't know. NSA, CIA, who knows?
on the web at middlemaneye.com to schedule or for
Tell me yes or no. Am I paranoid about the DNA database?
The pillow that started it all. Regular price $49.98, just $19.98 with our promo.
No, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, my mother's adopted. I don't know what my background is. So what I'm gonna get a DNA test back and find out what, that I'm European? Shocker. You know?
Adjust to your exact individual needs. It keeps your
Exactly. No DNA database for me.
position.
Could make the joke that you'd come up as some sort of African.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, if I had some African American in me, I'd be, I could claim to be that.
They would be flipping out.
I'm shocked how many. So you guys, none of you have gotten that DNA testing done for your family? Come on.
1-800-716-4879.
Crazy.
Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Order your My Pillow and get the best night's sleep just like
I know. Why give them another way to track you forever?
There's John Tish here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are 2 big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999.
Well, yes, welcome everyone. Make sure that you like the video, okay? Not very many of you like the video yet.
Put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire.
Oh, you've done them.
On the
Oh.
road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands
I was
of
going to
used
get one
tires
done on our dog to find out what they were, but those ones at the pet store are really expensive. They're not cheap like the human ones, which tells you everything you need to know, right?
954-977-45.
They want that human database.
Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact with someone who is sick? Are you traveling and need a COVID test? Same day PCR
Exactly. Exactly, Missy.
Sandalwood Plaza with Western Defense, south of Palmetto on the east side of 441. Open Monday through Saturday. No appointment necessary.
message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station. Mary on Demand is live. Start your marijuana education journey.
Yes, welcome everyone.
And check out the medical marijuana education series. You decide what
That's
you'd like
right.
to learn and when with Mary on Demand. Visit mary.fairview.edu. That's mmeri.fairview.edu.
Yes. Yeah, got my dog from the animal shelter. If they were cheap like the human ones, I would do it, but,
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Bryan Kohlberg.
All right, yes, we are back. The Steve Kane Show, now celebrating 46 years on the radio. Unbelievable. The longest running radio show in the state of Florida. And maybe the longest running radio show with the same host in America. With the same host. Okay. I'm starting to look into that to find out if that's true or not. Now, I'm going to be seeing Dr. Appleton this week. I don't know when, because I got a lot going on. First day of the year, first day of the work week. But it doesn't matter because you don't need an appointment with Dr. Appleton. He's open Monday through Saturday, and you can just show up whenever you have the time. But I did something a couple days ago, and I am suffering from some pretty brutal, deep neck pain. I did something. I was doing a lot of work around the house the last few days, and I did something, and I pulled a muscle. I hurt, sprained or something, and I'm in a lot of pain, and it's causing headaches and everything. So I don't know. I was lifting a lot of stuff and cleaning out the garage and everything, and I did not have any alcohol over the weekend, guys. But I'm going to go in and see Dr. Appleton and have him use his laser wave pain treatment on my neck. And it's pretty deep. It's kind of like, it's in the neck, and it's, you know, when I turn my head, especially to the left, it hurts like a son of a gun, I'm here to tell you. And Dr. Appleton, he is a lifesaver. And maybe I'll go today, maybe I'll go Saturday, whenever I have the time, because appointments are not necessary, walk-ins are welcome, whenever you can fit it in. But if it keeps getting worse, I'm going to have to cancel everything I'm doing and go on in there. You know, the laser wave pain treatment works. I know it works. Dr. Appleton has used it on my arthritis pain, my knee injury. The pain is gone. It is not returned. And I know, because I have the two incredible experiences with my arthritis and my knee injury, that it will work on my neck pain as well. Give Dr. Appleton a call. Make sure you mention you heard about him on the radio to take advantage of that no-charge consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. All right, so let me get back to this from News Nation. Let me finish playing this, because there's this BTK connection of his I find interesting. And BTK is a real sicko. You know, when I was younger and we had all these serial killers running around that were getting a lot of press, like Bundy, and the Gainesville Killer, and some of the others, John Wayne Gacy and others. There was this fascination in the country about serial killers, and I was interested in it back then. But when you're young, you don't know. I'm really not interested in these people. They're sick and they're twisted. They really are. They're certainly not fascinating. But let me get back to this. This is News Nation, and they actually talked to the daughter of BTK.
Disturbing aspects of BRYAN KOHLBERG's past is what he was studying, criminology, and who he was studying under at DeSales University in Pennsylvania. Dr. Catherine Ramsland, a serial killer expert who had a close relationship with serial killer BTK, even writing his autobiography. What did you first think when you heard that Dr. Ramsland was teaching BRYAN KOHLBERG?
Personally, my first reaction was just
okay.
like my stomach churned, and I literally physically got ill, knowing that there was now a connection back to Ramsland, and she connects to my father. It was just a lot.
Carrie Rawson is serial killer Dennis Rader, aka BTK's daughter. BTK stands for Bind, Torture, Kill, and Rader is responsible for killing 10 people. Do you think he may have had any sort of communication with your father?
Kohlberg could definitely have had communication with my father. Well, obviously we know he's...
Okay, now this part of the problem. You know, why is BTK even able to communicate with anyone, right? You know, this guy, you know, Dennis Rader, BTK, he loves this stuff because he loves the attention, you know. And since this guy was a student of the woman that wrote the biography of him, he's got access. This is like Silence of the Lambs. It's so strange. If you remember in Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill was the killer, and he was in communication with Dr. Lecter while he was in. Why are these people in any position where they have access to outside communication with anyone?
Studied my father in criminology classes. He probably studied him heavier since he had Ramsland as a professor. But we need to find out if there's a deeper connection. It could
See, this is why when these serial killers come out, there should not be plea deals. They should go for the death penalty, and so that, you know, like I give an example, the with the Oklahoma City bomber, he was doing interviews all the time. He was on TV all the time, laughing it up, and he doesn't do interviews anymore because, well, he got the death penalty. These guys, they make plea deals, and they spend the rest of their life having college professors and students come to them and wanting to hear from them and talk to them. It's sick.
turns me.
A deeper connection, like if Kohberger was corresponding with BTK in prison. He would have had access because of his professor, Dr. Ramsland, who's appeared in more than 200 crime documentaries and was even on News Nation in October discussing the Delphi case.
So what kind of serial killer expert / profiler is this woman? She's doing interviews talking about the case even. And she's got the killer in her class working with her, and she had no clue? What a joke. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. We come back, there's more to share on this, and your calls are most definitely welcome at 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's our first show of 2023. We're back. I'm Bryan Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the
People are
Steve
sick.
Kane Show with Bryan Craig.
Pretty sick. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe.
The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
They think he might have been. Yeah.
From the Palm
They
Beach
think he might have been talking to BTK. Yeah, that's what they're saying in the story. And BTK's daughter thinks it's possible, too, because of the connection he had with the professor. Well, I thought it was interesting when they said when he got arrested, he asked if they arrested anyone else. Tell me yes or no. Do you think he worked alone? Did he do this alone, or has he got some help, this psycho? Why would he ask a question like that? If he's the only guy involved, why would he even ask something like that? Yeah, yes or no, did he operate alone? Loner, alone, no? Then why did he ask if they arrested anyone else? Who knows? In Idaho, who knows?
Start your year winning the poker room at PBKC with a $100,000 guaranteed Monster Multi-Flight Tournament, January 5th through the 8th. PBKC's Lunch with a Legend series. Enjoy an intimate lunch with legendary sports stars like Dolphins great Nat Moore on January 10th. Play your favorite casino table games like 3-card poker or Ultimate Texas Hold'em with just a $5 minimum. Go to pbkennelclub.com for more info. With the new year underway, it's time to finally get a state-of-the-art home security system. And would you like a free doorbell camera and professional installation? Sloman's Home Security wishes they could give one to everyone, but they've only got enough for the first 40 people. So the first 40 True Oldies listeners who call 1-800-ALARM-ME will get this limited time offer. A free Sloman's doorbell camera that connects directly to your phone with installation of your Sloman Shield. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You'll get a digital keypad, motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, be one of the first 40 True Oldies listeners to call, and you'll receive a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your smartphone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Keep your family safe. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME right now to take advantage.
Okay, let's come back a little early.
That's
Okay.
1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Bryan Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate?
Yeah, well, they're on death row forever, those guys.
You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, and even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist.
Podcast last night, yeah.
By a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-829-9227.
OJ, yeah.
Brian Craig here. You've heard me talk about how Dr. Hamilton has rid me of knee pain with his laser away pain system.
White Ford Bronco, white Kia, yeah, there you go.
Patient on Saturday came in with sciatic leg pain. She lifted something wrong on Saturday. She said, "Can this help me?" And I said, "Sure." And we did the laser on her.
That's right.
On Monday, she returned, and she said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. The joy of doing this all these years."
What is there to say, Missy, about Trump's taxes?
But just an amazing tool that I used.
Is there something I missed?
Chronic, young, old, golf, tennis players, NBA, football players, male, female, it doesn't matter. The laser will help. And once we finish patients up, I never hear from anybody. But I do hear from them. The family, the wife, the cousin, the nephew that comes back. And that's the biggest joy.
Give Dr. Hamilton a call at 954.
The only thing from his taxes is that he gave up a lot of money to be president. These Pelosi's and Bidens, they only make money when they're in office. He loses money in office. So,
Or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis? Well, then come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab.
yeah, we found out he didn't lose money. He sacrificed earning more money to be president. It was a sacrifice he gave. He didn't lose money. He chose to make less money.
That's 754-222-6642.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Not with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. The dental work is painless, and the prices are painless too. Call today, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954.
Pelosi's taxes, I want to see the footage of the so-called break-in at her house, right, with her husband. Would you rather see that footage or her taxes? I'd rather see the video.
Great seats all season long. Register now at trueoldiesfla.com. Recently injured? Contact the Homes Law Group today. 561-570-5700.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years
Oh, yeah, that one says 45, yeah. All right, yes, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. Hard to believe. That's a big number. 4 more years, it'll be the big 50. That's huge, huge. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. Lots going on. Talking about these Idaho killers. You know, someone during the break asked if we're going to talk about Trump's taxes. What are we supposed to say about his Trump's taxes that they released? That President Trump sacrificed a lot of money to be president. You know, look at these other people. Pelosi, Biden, Schumer. They only make money while they're in office. Donald Trump makes less money. He didn't lose money. He made less money. It's a sacrifice he made. I don't know what they think we're supposed to think about the taxes. There's no scandal there. Now, I got a question for you guys. Would you rather, I'll give you 2 choices. Which would you rather see? Nancy Pelosi's taxes or Nancy Pelosi's footage of the so-called break-in of her house with her husband and that homeless guy? The taxes or that video? I'd rather see the video than her taxes myself, you know, and find out what really happened. Let's get to the bottom of what happened. Let her keep her taxes hidden. Just show us the video from her front door. And the whole idea that she has no video is absurd. I mean, I got the doorbell camera from Sloman's, you know. I got video, you know. You guys, you know, a lot of you I know got that doorbell camera since we've been talking about it. You got video, but she doesn't have video? Give me a break. All right, so let me get back to this. So this is News Nation, a very interesting story. They talked to BTK's daughter, and the daughter of BTK thinks that this Idaho killer may have been in communication with BTK throughout this whole process.
As it is Professor Dr. Ramsland, who's appeared in more than 200 crime documentaries and was even on News Nation in October discussing the Delphi case.
Help explain to me the mindset of a killer living in a community where they have carried out, allegedly, this heinous act.
Okay, now this woman now has no credibility moving forward. They bring her on as an expert to talk about the mindset of the killer, and here he is, one of her students. So what does she know? Not very much.
Well, if it is the
person, the suspect that they have under arrest right now, he was married, so he would have had to have secrets.
Dr. Ramsland is known for her TV appearances, but she's not talking now. When I asked her about Kohberger, she responded, "I cannot make media statements about him at this time." For Carrie Rawson, the nightmare in Idaho has now come full circle.
You know, this woman, there's something she's covering up here, you know, because she's supposed to be the big serial killer expert, researches them, writes books on them, and here she is, got one as a student, and all of a sudden she doesn't want to talk about it when she does media interviews all the time. Are you kidding me? There's something she's covering up here, like how closely, I don't think, I'm not saying she was involved in the crimes, but she looks like an idiot, doesn't she? Especially if she was working really close to him as his professor. And when you got a graduate student, the class sizes are much smaller. She's not much of an expert. She's an expert on how not to know what's going on, I guess.
I want to figure out how to stop it. Like,
this is BTK's daughter.
this guy and live with this, you know, and then see somebody else go do this and wonder, did your dad influence him? Did your dad talk to him? Like, was he studying my father outside of academics? I mean, am I ever going to get answers to that? I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that was BTK's daughter. Oh, my goodness. And she shows her face and everything. If I were a serial killer's kid, I wouldn't be doing interviews. I certainly wouldn't be showing my face. I wouldn't want anyone to know who I was. But this professor, you know, this killer, could you imagine what would be going on today in the media if he had killed black people? Could you imagine? There would be such a race division going on in the media right now. But he killed 4 white people. They can't make it a racial thing. But if he would have killed black college students, it would be all about race, even if everything else were the same. Because that's what the media loves more than anything. And then there's another story here. The Idaho quadruple murder suspect cheered up and was more chatty in criminology class after the killings, before remaining deadpan and quiet when the stabbings were discussed, classmates claim. His Washington State University criminology classmate said he became more talkative after the killings, but if they ever talked about the killings, he didn't say anything. You know, the thing, you know, when which tells you that no matter how insane he may appear, he's not so insane that he didn't know that what he did was wrong, right? Because he was trying to keep it secret. What happens a lot with these guys, with criminals, murderers and criminals of any kind, they're paranoid. They think everybody knows everything, and that they did and everything else, and that's why he wasn't talking. His classmates noted he was intelligent. He had few friends, but he did make anti-LGBTQ comments. Whatever that means. I mean, you know, that could just be a joke. I mean, I don't know. It seems they're more upset about his anti-LGBTQ comments than anything else, these woke students. His classmates added that his key interest was in forensic psychology, and he completed a project where he questioned ex-cons on the details of their crimes. And that's where they think he might have used that as an in with BTK. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm glad it is over, but I'm not 100% sure it's over because he had said to the police, this leaked out, did you arrest anyone else? If he did this completely alone, why would he ask a question like that? That doesn't quite make sense to me, unless he doesn't want to share credit. I don't know. But I do know this. It's very good news that they got this guy. And hopefully he doesn't get too much publicity. I mean, I know I'm talking about it and all, but hopefully the story fades away quickly. Because, you know, guys like this, you can tell with BTK, they just love talking about it. They love people talking about them. I remember when OJ was on trial, he had a TV in his cell, and he would watch every night all the discussion about him and the murders on all the news every night. These guys love it. So the faster this can get wrapped up, the better, because this guy, and, you know, before he is convicted, he's going to be treated, you know, a lot differently, right? He'll have TV, he'll have access to anything he wants because he's presumed innocent, you know, until they get a conviction or he pleads guilty or something. So he'll be watching court TV, CNN, everything else, and just loving it. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. If you have any thoughts on the Idaho case, you're certainly welcome. I'm going to move into politics, though, but you are welcome to call in about the Idaho case as the show goes on. Now, tomorrow's the big day where they're going to have the vote for the speaker, and I'm going to get to some audio after the break. They're already setting the stage for charging President Trump. And some of the Sunday shows we're talking about over the weekend, I'll play some clips later on, but they are most definitely setting the stage to charge President Trump. It's going to happen any day now. And, you know, all this talk about who's going to be the Speaker of the House, you know, we don't have much say about this because the Republican establishment are going to decide who to choose as Speaker regardless of what any of us think, right? You know, I mean, we can gripe about it and hopefully embarrass them enough where they don't pick Kevin McCarthy. But all the discussion that's been going on the past few days and will continue today until they have the vote about who should be the Speaker of the House for the Republicans, and should it be Kevin McCarthy, should it be this, should it be that? You know, and I talked a lot last week, it should not be Kevin McCarthy for a whole bunch of reasons, but they're not asking any of the right questions of any of these prospects. And there are a lot of questions that should be asked of Kevin McCarthy and anyone else who's being discussed as someone who may become the Republican Speaker of the House of Representatives. Questions like, if President Trump wins the nomination, will you support him? When you take over as Speaker tomorrow, will you begin an investigation into the crimes that were revealed in the Hunter Biden laptop? There's a lot of questions. In fact, I got a list of 13 things. I may go over this. I went over it on my podcast last night, but I think I might do it on the show today because it's very important. There's a list. It might be 12 things. I can't remember. It's 12 or 13. But a list of 12 or 13 things that the Republicans should be commanded to do the second that we have our Speaker, whoever they are. And if Kevin McCarthy becomes the Speaker, none of the things on my list are going to happen because Kevin McCarthy, you know, Kevin McCarthy's plan for Speaker is to run cover for the Democrats and cover for the Democrats. He's not there to help MAGA. He's not there to help Trump. He's not there to help the Republican Party. He's there to work with and cover up everything bad about the Democrats, and that includes everything Joe Biden has done. So we'll take our last break of the hour. When we get back, I'll jump into that. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE1. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard,
So I got in touch with
truth.
the answer.
Delivered
He said that
6 to 9 right
the
here
guy
on
with
the
the
Steve Kane
voiceover
Show.
isn't back until tomorrow.
Have you been to Chowderheads in Jupiter yet? If you were looking for the best
Oh,
seafood
oh.
in town, you have to try Chowderheads.
So I
You'll
mentioned
grab their
about the
authentic
45
New
years,
England
they
seafood,
said
flown in
he
fresh
won't
from
back till
Boston.
tomorrow, so
Their
he'll get
award-winning
everything.
lobster rolls,
He'll get
crab
everything.
chowder, and fried oysters.
Oh, I wouldn't have bothered him this early in the morning about it.
Well, I was just letting him know about the news and
Oh.
weather, but I was like, oh, let me add that in just so he knows, you know?
Yeah.
Now open 7 days a week. For reservations or to go, call 561-203-2903 or check out their menu at chowderheadsusa.com.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingle, clay and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractors. At Laporta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them.
It's 12 things, not 13.
Laporta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954.
They're never going to have term limits, Jeff. For them to have term limits, they would have to vote on them and pass them themselves, and they're not going to pass term limits and put themselves out of work. That's never going to happen.
Airman Automotive in West Palm Beach reminds everyone that while driving, safety is extremely
Yeah.
important. Using a
a cell phone.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
Drinking and driving causes accidents and
I told you I have a ton of
safe driving is
Trump
your
hats.
responsibility. This message courtesy of Airman Automotive at 3520 Investment Lane in West Palm Beach. Specializing in foreign and domestic repairs with quality, integrity, and knowledgeable, courteous service.
Yeah, most of them were given to me by listeners,
618-6107. Airman Automotive is on
including this one.
because they care.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Game presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A sensitive fresh.
There's no way to have term limits. They would have to term limit themselves out of
I
office.
didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one.
They'll never have term limits in Washington.
Ah, the scent of Gain Flames.
Never.
And Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome back from the new year. You know, is today, I'm not sure about this. Looking at the traffic on the roads, it wouldn't be true. Is today considered a holiday? It's the 2nd. Usually the national holiday is January 1st. And I don't know. I think everyone's back to work today. Is everyone back to work today? They should be. I went out yesterday morning and to get coffee at 6 a.m. and it was the thickest fog I had ever seen in South Florida. It was pretty brutal. Not a good time to be out on the road. But today when I came in, there wasn't fog. There were fog warnings, but I didn't run into any fog. But a lot of traffic. I don't understand why anyone would be off today. They're just dogging it. You know, if today were the 1st, I'd be here today. Not just the 2nd, but that's just me. Okay, so I got to tell you guys about EET, our fence and gate repair experts. Now, first off, EET does not do just repairs. They do repair. They'll repair your fence and they'll also repair your gate. But if you need a new gate, if you need new fencing, they can help you with that too. They've done a great job with Steve Kane's fence and his gate repair. I've heard from some of our listeners that have just been telling me what a great job EET has done with their fence and gates, both getting repairs and new fencing and new gates. And they reply back to people right away. When they call, if they don't get them on the phone, they call them right back, and things are done very fast. You know, EET is family-owned and operated. They're licensed and insured, been in business over 20 years here in South Florida, and they work on all types of fencing: iron, aluminum, chain link, wood, PVC, and any other type of fencing there may be that I haven't listed. They do both residential and commercial work. If you're a first responder, military, or a school teacher, 15% off. They'll beat any competitor's price. They give free estimates. And no job is too small. They don't have a minimum charge like other companies do. No job is too small. And also, no job is too large. They can handle a job of any size. These other companies don't do repairs, I'm here to tell you, on gates or fencing. EET does. But like I said, if you need a new gate or new fencing, they'll help you with that as well. Give them a call. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. 561-255-1170. 561-255-1170. That's 561-255-1170 for EET, our fence and gate experts here on the Steve Kane Radio Show. All right, so all this talk about Kevin McCarthy being Speaker, it does not seem to be a done deal, although he's putting a lot of pressure on people. And I found this article over the weekend that I thought was so good, and no one's asking these questions. There's all these interviews being done on cable between, whether it should be Kevin McCarthy or someone else. And by the way, someone told me there's no mail today. Today is a federal holiday? Are you kidding me? There's no mail today? Are the banks open? Are schools open? Why am I working all these holidays? I must be an idiot. You know, holidays just not in my vocabulary. It just isn't. I mean, you know, if it's just, I don't know. I get banks are closed. You know, Steve asked me yesterday. He says tomorrow I think's a holiday too. I said, Steve, it's the 2nd. How can the 2nd be a holiday? Oh my goodness. You know, I'll tell you this thing about. So the government's closed today. There's no mail today. So federal government's closed. You know, I get so tired of hearing these people in the news. Anytime the government shutdowns are being threatened, and you can't. The government shuts down all the time. And it doesn't seem to bother you. You know, so far as the mail being closed, what really comes in the mail? Right? Yeah, most of my mail, I just leave in the box and let it build up all week. It's mostly junk mail, especially now that Christmas is over. You know, we can live without mail and a whole bunch of other things, but I don't understand why today is a holiday too. What about those of you that have office jobs? Like, will the office here be open? I don't know. I did not realize that. There's just too many holidays. Or either that or I'm like just crazy and don't know how to take leisure time. You know, I even turn my vacation into a part of work because the cruise is a listener cruise, so we got a whole thing, you know, we do with that. So, you know, that's my vacation. I don't know. Anyway, so I found this list in an article in the Gateway Pundit yesterday. It's 12 actions that the Republicans should take right away when we take over this week. And, you know, so tomorrow's the big speaker's vote. And I remember when Newt Gingrich became speaker, the Republicans had the Contract for America that they ran on. The Republicans took over, and immediately the Republican Congress started doing things. I remember very clearly that the Republicans, when Newt Gingrich took over and became speaker, right there for the first time, that they were working like past midnight, all night long, passing the Contract for America. And I'm hearing all this talk about Kevin McCarthy should be speaker. What's he going to do other than say, it's me, I got it? What is he telling us he's going to do, or any of them really telling us they're going to do? So this list in the Gateway Pundit, I think, is pretty spot on. I'm just trying to get over the fact that January 2nd is a holiday. I just don't quite get. I do not understand why today is a holiday. I just don't get that. But I guess because I'm an idiot. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I just, you know, even on the weekends I work. You know, I do my podcast or something, or I'll live stream on YouTube. I just can't sit around and say a holiday. Like if I had like a regular office job, I'd be bouncing off the walls today. I don't know what I would. I don't know what I do. I guess a lot of people are probably still getting over the hangovers. You know, when I went out to get coffee yesterday morning, it was, you know, I said it was the thickest fog I'd seen in South Florida, maybe ever. And I couldn't see really past my driveway, but I figured, well, once I get out of my development, it'll be okay. And I got out of my development, and the fog was so thick, and I was like, if I just get down to the end of the street, it'll go. And it was just, you know, I was halfway to Starbucks before I realized I probably shouldn't be driving. And I got out on the banks are open. So I should not give any information about this because some people are telling me banks are open today. I don't know. I don't know. I'm asking you guys, is it a holiday or not? I got out on the road yesterday morning. It was about 10 minutes after 6. The thickest fog I think I've seen in South Florida maybe ever, or at least in a great many years. And the road was filled with drunks. I couldn't believe people are driving in 2 lanes. You know, and everything, and I was just like, oh my goodness, it was frightening. Between the drunks and the fog yesterday morning, it was a rough one. But anyway, let me get to this list. These are the 12 actions the Republicans should take immediately when we take over the House and we have our speaker tomorrow. 1, and this should be done instantly. You know, when they swear, even if it's, I don't care if it's McCarthy, whoever they swear in as speaker tomorrow, they should take action on these things. Number 1, launch an investigation into Biden based on the evidence that has come out from the Hunter Biden laptop. Of course. 2, this is a good one too. This is a good one. Investigate Joe Biden for violating his own sexual predator groper bill. You know, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of images of him being inappropriate with females of all different ages, touching and smelling and sniffing. That would be a good one. Number 3, and again, this is the list of the 12 things the Republicans should do immediately after we choose our speaker tomorrow. Number 3, demand the tax returns from Biden, Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Ilhan Omar, Hunter Biden, and Chuck Schumer. I'd agree with that one. You know, now that taxes should not only be released, but should be sent out there even after you're no longer in office, like President Trump no longer is, I think that would be a good one. 4, release and make public all video footage, 14,000 hours of it they have, of all the video taken by the government during the Capitol breach on January 6th. That's definite. 5, demand the Department of Justice, Capitol Police, FBI, and other federal agencies release information on how many operatives they had inside the crowd during the Capitol breach. And these are 12 things the Republicans should do immediately after the speaker vote tomorrow. 6, demand a copy, which shockingly we have not yet seen, demand a copy of the affidavit and all supporting documentation for the break-in, the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Absolutely. And demand the video footage inside the raid at Mar-a-Lago as well. 7, demand Pelosi's emails, text, and her film crew's footage and all records related to the Capitol breach. 8, remove Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, and Ilhan Omar from their committee assignments and investigate all of them. That's a good one. The next one, 9, is about Democrat dark money. 10, begin an investigation and audit of all money sent to Ukraine by the United States, and all information and investigate all donations made from the FTX crypto company of Bankman-Fried. Absolutely. 11's not that interesting. Let me skip that one. 12, investigate all actors related to the Russian collusion scam against President Trump, which would include the wiretap on Trump Tower, they continued the White House, the dossier, and everything connected to it. Oh, yeah. But, you know, these 12 things, none of them will happen if Kevin McCarthy becomes the Speaker of the House. If Kevin McCarthy becomes the Speaker, none of these things will be looked at because his main job is going to be covering up for all of these things that we think they should be looking at on the very first day. And, you know, they could start these things right away. And I think the Gateway Pundit put together a good list. Maybe that's not a complete list. Maybe you have some things you want to add to it. But those 12 sound pretty good to me. All right, now our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening to us from. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Our first show back in this new year. And don't forget, you know, get a doorbell camera like I have. Oh, man, it'll change your life. You can get a doorbell camera for free from Sloman's. When you call them, tell them you heard about them on the radio, and they will tell you how you can get a free doorbell camera. It's not only added safety and security to your home, but also a lot of convenience. You know, when you get a notification there's someone at your door, you can unlock the door from them from your phone, which is real nice. Says a couple times my wife, she's inside, she's in the bedroom, I'm outside, my hands are full, she sees me there, she unlocks the door without having to go to the door. It's a pretty good deal. Here's their number, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio and get your free doorbell camera. All right, hour number 2 begins now.
WWNN Pompano Beach.
Huh? Fixed what? Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, something was going on.
Also, the Google says, because I only learned this because my parents told me yesterday, If a holiday falls on a Sunday, the following Monday is also a legal holiday.
Oh, okay. Pretty crazy.
It's well known. That's why it's people are like we're confused about it because it's not like
Yeah.
like what?
Sunshine, evening temperature.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Council.
Your I-95 commute completely up to speed, however.
If a holiday falls on the weekend, the Monday is that's insane to me. There's too many holidays. I never heard that one before.
The Carlton Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at carlscolitisfoundation.org. That's Traffic on Zach.
Traffic is service in the Palm Beach Kennel Club. WKC is kicking off 2023 with exciting events like restaurant, make plans for dinner shows.
Oh, today is called New Year's Day Observed. Are you kidding me? That's just... Never heard anything so stupid.
Yes. Mike said Wednesday we're making it active.
Oh, okay. It's not active yet. Okay.
Alright, so Wednesday, so Wednesday will be making it active, Thursday will be ready. That's what you just confirmed.
Mm-hmm. Steve Kane Show. Oh.
You don't know, you don't always have symptoms. STDs make you and your
Welcome, everyone. Make sure you like the video if you've not already done so.
about your babies in you.
I'm calling my county health department. A message from the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Stop into Lowe's where you'll find big savings on those projects popping up on your to-do list. Grow a happy and healthy lawn with 20% off all Stay Green fertilizer and grass seed. Plus, get cooking with 25% off all Charbroil commercial and signature series gas grills. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's. Stay Green offer valid 4/26 through 5/8. Grill offer valid 4/26 through 5/1. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. U.S. only. See store for details.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Bryan Craig.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. Monday, the first show of 2023. Oh, man. And I looked up during the break. Today is actually considered a federal holiday. Today's the 2nd. And what it says is today is New Year's Day observed. That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And it's just too many holidays. You know, these people that work for the government, They got a good job, don't they? Every day's a holiday. They get paid. It's a joke. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. First call of the year. Yes.
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh my goodness, Doug. Doug, yeah, you're the first call. You're the first call of the year. Make it good. I hope it's like interesting and.
Certainly, what you just mentioned. I hope it's done before lunch. These people should be all organized already. Today, they should be getting together and all ready to go and put it all together. And the red wave should be exactly what they're talking about. That whole list. Plus, they should impeach the Attorney General as well.
Well, you know, here's the thing that's really aggravating to me. All I'm hearing is it should be Kevin McCarthy from some, and some say it shouldn't be Kevin McCarthy, okay? I'm not hearing what they're going to do. I'm not hearing what they're going to do once we got the speaker. We already won the House, all right? The speaker's going to be a Republican no matter who it is. If it's, you know, it's going to be a Republican no matter what happens. So there's not a lot of mystery when it comes to that. But I'm not hearing any of them telling us what they plan on doing. Do you?
No, I have nothing. The only thing I heard is Kevin McCarthy saying if they'll pick him, then maybe a Democrat become the speaker.
Never going to happen. Never going to. You know, if the deal is if we pick Kevin McCarthy, who it seems to be is going to be the guy, it makes no difference. We might as well have a Democrat. The whole thing about being a rhino is you're not really a Republican. You just have the title of a Republican, and you're a Republican in name only. So there's no like, okay, tomorrow, you know, like if Kevin McCarthy came out and had a press conference and said, you know, tomorrow's our vote for speaker. I think I should be the speaker. And when I become the speaker tomorrow, I am going to set up a committee investigating the January 6th committee. I am going to make public all footage from the Capitol breach. We are going to begin a committee investigating the Hunter Biden laptop and determine if Joe Biden committed crimes that have been detailed in the Hunter Biden laptop. We're going to get the names and everyone that was involved in the Russian dossier and the bugging of Trump Tower and the White House. I don't hear anything. All I hear is, vote for me. I've been here a long time and I deserve it. I don't hear them talking about anything.
Yeah. Brian Craig for Speaker of the House, man. That's
oh, yeah. Yeah, right. All right, Doug. All right, appreciate the call. That was the first call of the year. It wasn't even mediocre. I did all the talking. He had nothing. I mean, but, you know, I would rather the first call of the year be, you know, someone other than Doug. But it was Doug. What are you going to do, right? I didn't realize today was a holiday. Maybe we should have taken the day off. But I'm very serious about this. You know, over the weekend, President Trump had been talking about if he does not win the nomination, that he may start a third party. He posted something on Truth Social about this. If he doesn't win the nomination, which they're trying to make sure that it doesn't happen. And, you know, typically I would say a third party is a terrible idea. All right, because I mean, if you have a third party doesn't have a very good chance of winning much of anything. There is a third party already. It's a party of losers. It's called the Libertarian Party. There's other parties too, but the Republican third party is the Libertarians, and they're losers. And typically, when I hear someone talk about starting a third party, I say that's a terrible idea. But when President Trump talks about starting a third party, I think it's a pretty smart idea, and for a number of reasons. And I'll tell you why. And I'm very much like to hear your thoughts on this. What good does it do? Because people will say, well, a third party will lose elections forever. We'll never have control. What good is it to have control of the House of Representatives if they're rhinos and they're not going to do any of the things I just mentioned or went through that list on? What's the point? So that we feel good? You know, Democrats, we used to make fun of Democrats because we would say, you know, Democrats would vote for Adolf Eichmann if he had a D next to his name on the ballot. Now, you may not know who Adolf Eichmann is. If you're a little too young, just Google and you'll see he was the architect of the Holocaust. Okay. And that's true. Democrats will vote for anyone with a D next to their name. If Donald Trump ran as a Democrat, they'd vote for him in Century Village. You know, and that's the way of it. And that's not the way to be. You know, if they do not allow President Trump to get the nomination in 2024 and they give it to anyone else, including Ron DeSantis, what are we to do? Let's say this happens. And now the only thing that would get me to say that President Trump maybe should not start a third party is if the Republicans, we take over tomorrow, we got a new speaker, maybe it's Kevin McCarthy, probably will be, maybe it's so, and then they start doing these things that we want them to do, then I'd say, okay. But if we have a bunch of vanilla rhino Republicans that do nothing, what's the point? And, you know, if you've ever read Art of the Deal, I read it long ago. It's a good, short book. You can read it quick. It's pretty interesting. President Trump's book that's been a bestseller for years. You know, you'll see there's a common theme with President Trump. When you're making a deal, unless you're willing to walk away, you're really not there to make a deal, right? And walking away is a big negotiation trip, because not only would if we had a third party, we wouldn't win much, if anything. We might win a House seat here or there, might get lucky with a senator, maybe. Even that would be difficult. But the Republicans would lose a lot too. Because if President Trump does not get the nomination, the only way Trump doesn't get the nomination is if the Republican establishment sabotage it. So if Trump does not get the nomination, and he said, I'm starting a third party, a MAGA party, whatever he wants to call it, I would become a member of that party that day. That'd be it. And we would start a trend of tearing up our Republican voter registration cards on social media. And just like the walk away movement did, people tearing up their Democrat registration, and I'd be a member of whatever, if he called it a Patriot Party, a Patriotic Party, a MAGA Party, I'd be a member of it. Yeah, and we would have no chance of winning anything for years, if ever. But that's a statement. You know, we got to get out of this head that we're just going to support people because they got R's next to their names on ballots. And I'm just not going to do that. And I'm pretty disgusted. You know, I saw some of the Sunday shows yesterday. And some of the things that are going on. This is Hutchinson, governor of Arkansas, a Republican. Listen to this. This is yesterday.
Trump does become the Republican nominee again. Will you vote for him? Will you support him?
Now that's a softball question. They're not asking Hutchinson if he would support Trump to get the nomination, because then there could be other choices like DeSantis and others. He's saying if Trump, the guy, Republican governor of Arkansas, for a little bit longer, right? A few more hours. But they're asking him, if Trump gets the nomination as a Republican, would you vote for him? That's a softball question, because the question should just automatically be yes, but that's not the answer.
Trump does become the Republican nominee again. Will you vote for him? Will you support him?
Well, I'm going to do everything that we can to make sure there's alternatives, that he is not the nominee. And of course, that's all depends upon who else is out there. But I do not believe that Donald Trump should be the next president of the United States. I think he's had his opportunity there. I think January 6th really disqualifies him for the future. And so we move beyond that. And that's what I'm going to be focused on.
So if January 6th disqualifies him, if you're going to do everything you can to be sure he's not president again, will you not support him if he is the Republican nominee? Just a simple question. Will you say, look, I'll write in another Republican? You don't have to support a Democrat. You can write in another Republican. That's what Larry Hogan's done twice. Will you say, I'm not going to support him no matter what?
Well, I want to see what the alternatives are, and it's premature, Jonathan, to get into what might happen in 2024. That issue will come up, but I want to see everything I can do to make sure there is the alternative and that Donald Trump is not the nominee of the party. That's the first thing, and let's figure out how to do that.
Okay, now Hutchinson, that's your rhino Republican establishment right there. Which that's Kevin. Might as well be Kevin McCarthy talking. That's their plan. So even if he gets the nomination, what he's telling us is the establishment are not going to support him. So since when in history has the establishment of one of the major political parties not supported the nominee? And that's what they're telling us. They're not going to. He's not going to support the nominee, and he's not alone. You know, this is going to be a common theme. And what they want to tell you is, well, he doesn't even have the Republican support, so how can you support him? It's part, you know. Yeah. So, as I said, in the past, I'd say a third party is not a smart idea because we're just going to lose, but we're losing anyway, right? If we're losing anyway, why vote for them? So we feel good because some people have an R next to their name and they say they're Republicans and we feel like we've won something? We will have won nothing with Republicans like this around. So no, if Trump goes third party, I will be one of the first people to join that new party. I will go down within 24 hours to the local voter registration office here in Palm Beach County and change my voter's registration to whatever party Trump starts. Boom. On the spot. I'd do it the same day if I could. But certainly within 24 hours. I want to be one of the first to do it. And I think you guys, I would like to think most of you would be with me because this is what we're dealing with. And you listen to Asa Hutchinson here. That's Kevin McCarthy talking. And he's about to become the speaker tomorrow. So no, I'm not with these people. And I never will be. And if you are, that's just because you want to feel like you're winning. That's like living in the Matrix. You're lying to yourself. You've got no power. You do not have conservatives. You've got fake Republicans. And the only thing we can do to stand up to them if Trump doesn't get the nomination is to walk away from the party like so many Democrats did for Trump and became Republicans. Walk away from the party, start a third party, because we may not win anything, but they're going to lose a lot if we walked away from them. All right. Our number, 888-GO-KANE-1. It's a toll-free call, 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used
Believable.
tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, get you incredible
Steve Kane Show.
I also do tire repairs
Hold on.
at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Brian Craig here. You've heard me talk about how Dr. Appleton has rid me of knee pain with his laser away pain system. Let me introduce you to Dr. Appleton.
I had a new patient on Saturday, came in with sciatic leg pain. She lifted something on Saturday. She said, "Can this help me?" And I said, "Sure."
Unreal. I know, guys. Have you all liked the video? I know you haven't, because there's a lot more people in the chat than there are likes. So make sure you guys like the video.
Just an amazing tool that I use to help people with acute, chronic, young, old, golf, tennis players.
Oh, that's good, Jeff. No, that's not an actual signature. If this was an actual signature, I wouldn't be wearing the hat. I'd have it in a safe deposit box or on display in my house or something, in a case.
Give Dr. Appleton a call at 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And say bye-bye to your pain. A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University
assistance. Visit floridashine.org or call the Elder Helpline at 1-800-963-5333.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Bryan Kohlberg.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show because I'm telling you it's live. Okay. Oh, man, our first show of 2023. Call is on hold. Stand by. Now, one day this week, I don't know when it'll be. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be Friday. It could be Saturday. One day this week, I want to be over at Dr. Appleton's office and getting another treatment with the laser away pain treatment. This time, it's my neck. I don't know what I did. I was doing a lot of stuff. You know, my daughter moved out, so my wife were turning my daughter's bedroom into something else. So I've been moving a lot of stuff and cleaning out the garage, and I hurt my back and my neck and my right shoulder. I'm in all kinds of pain, especially my neck. My neck is just in massive pain deep down on my backbone and my neck, and it really hurts. I mean, it really hurts. And when I get to Dr. Appleton's for the laser away pain treatment, you know, since walk-ins are welcome, whenever I can make it in, he'll see me because walk-ins are welcome, appointments are not needed, and his laser away pain treatment works. I know it's worked. He's rid me of pain in 2 different areas, and I know my back and neck pain will have the same result as my knee pain and my arthritis pain that he rid me of with his laser away pain treatment. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. No matter what kind of pain you're suffering from, Dr. Appleton can help. It's a free consultation if you mention you heard about him on the radio. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Oh, hey, Richie, the bus driver. Hey, Richie.
Here's the deal. You just said a question. Since when did the establishment, they don't support a candidate? I would argue with you it happened in 2020 when the
With Trump? Well, that's Trump. I'm talking about other than Trump. Other than Trump, when has exactly, like I'm just reading something today. Elise Stefanik, right? She's being promoted as someone who should maybe be a running mate of President Trump's. Right, there's a lot of talk of her becoming Trump's running mate. Now it comes out that in private she called President Trump a whack job in a private conversation that got leaked out. You know, she's a spy.
That's what I'm trying to say. She was a rhino starting this whole thing. And by the way, if anyone thinks that I want him in there, forget it. The fight should start right now. I don't care, even if a Democrat gets in there, because regardless. A Republican is going to be like a Democrat. This is.
Yeah.
These are people are against us. You remember the president of the United States could go to Pennsylvania with that red background saying MAGA is the biggest threat to the
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And Stefanik here, what they're trying. You're right, Richie. And what they're trying to do with Stefanik is get her in there to be a spy. If she's Trump's running mate, she'll have access to every conversation. And she'll be the source of all this kind of leaking that they can use. This is crazy, what we're dealing with right now.
In Congress controls the purse, but not this year. The Republicans in the Senate undercut us with the money. So in other words, my contention is the war has started against us already by the Republican Party, and that's a fact. And we're going to sit there, and everyone wants all these committees to come along. Well, the press is going to you're only going to be able to see it on CNN because.
Well, you know, I remember when Obama picked Garland, when he nominated Garland for the Supreme Court, Mitch McConnell wouldn't have hearings, confirmation hearings, because he thought the next president should choose the Supreme Court justices, right? He didn't know it was going to be Trump, but he could, McConnell could have put up a fight about the omnibus bill and said, let's wait until the Republicans take over the House next week. But he didn't do that. You know, you can't trust these people. All right, Richie is speechless, hanging on my every word. But no, that's true. And I'm so glad this secret conversation came out of Elise Stefanik. Now, it was reported in the New York Times, which is always questionable, but I'd like to hear Stefanik deny it. You know, if I were in her spot and the national media were reporting that I said something like that about President Trump, I'd be on TV instantly saying it is not true and demand that they bring forward the source that has told such a terrible lie about me. But Stefanik isn't going to do that because she said it. And she knows that there were multiple witnesses that heard her say it. And she's been exposed. So she goes down on the list of fake MAGA. You know, and they promote her as like this up-and-coming Uber MAGA. And now we know it's all a lie. She's another spy trying to make her way into Mar-a-Lago. This is why, you know, a third party may very well be the only way we have to go forward. All right, our number, toll-free 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our bottom of the hour break and be back right after this. Okay. Be right back, guys.
Southbound side, under speed at Southern Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue. This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. That's Traffic, I'm Zach.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. Start your year winning the poker room at PBKC with the $100,000 guaranteed Monster Multi-Flight Tournament, January 5th through the 8th. PBKC's Lunch with a Legend series enjoy an intimate lunch with legendary sports stars like Dolphins great Nat Moore on January 10th. Play your favorite casino table games like 3-card poker or Ultimate Texas Hold'em with just a $5 minimum. Go to pbkennelclub.com for more info.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bio Station West El Rey, and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back. And women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings, gone. Night sweats, gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet him, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is
Steve Kane Show.
even more, I take iBrands, palbociclib. iBrands 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase.
Okay.
With HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about iBrands and visit iBrands.com. iBrands may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. iBrands may cause severe inflammation of the lungs.
Steve Kane Show.
Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, short
Steve Kane Show.
cough, or chest pain.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on.
Tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic
roofing and general contractors. At LaPorta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them every step of the way. At LaPorta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or visit us on our website at laportacontracting.com. That number again is 954-604-4602.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, yes. We are back. I'm Bryan Craig. I'm understanding today is a holiday for some reason. I'm trying to figure that out. I didn't have any alcohol over the weekend. How many of you can say that, huh? All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is the number, 1-888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Happy New Year. It's Berta from Texas.
Oh, hey, Berta.
Well, I'm calling because I heard your podcast with Kathy. Good podcast, by the way. It was funny because my husband and I were having the same conversation about a month back. And I'm the one that mentioned about a third party because honestly, Brian, that uni party, it has to go too. It's not only the Democrats. All that corrupt swamp mess needs to go. And if it takes, why do you think they can control anyone but one person, and that was Donald J. Trump.
That's right, because he's so rich, he can't be bought. Right? Yeah.
If anything, he's the one that gave them the money for campaigns. Remember that. And by the way, he didn't pay taxes. Well, let's go back. He didn't get paid as president of the United States. He donated that money back. Let's go back and remember that. So,
well, okay. When they say didn't pay taxes, that's not entirely true. There's all kinds of different taxes that President Trump pays, and everyone who. Yeah.
$750. You know that's money.
Well, if that's all he paid, good for him. But look at how everyone that worked for him, of the people that worked for him, how much in taxes did they pay? Look at all the revenue he generated just by who he is, and having these great companies. It's a little misleading, what they've done.
If they had a got you moment with Trump, you don't think they would have used it in the past couple of years? They can't find anything.
Well, see these people in the government. I heard this 750 number. I don't know how accurate that is if you really look at it. How much in taxes does he pay on just fuel costs for his jet? You know what I mean? But well, let me finish. But these the people in Washington think it's upsetting when somebody pays so little in taxes. And most people, when they see that Donald Trump paid so little in income tax, they're like, wow, good for him. Good for him.
Remember the first debate with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton when he says it's the same rules I abide by that you abide by. And it's the same ones.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
They didn't want to get rid of it. So the problem is if it takes to be a Trumpican, you could count me in. And I'm not the only person. These Texans, they love DeSantis, but they think that DeSantis needs a little bit more time.
Well, here's the thing. I love DeSantis. He's my governor. But I'm not going to bypass Trump. And here's the thing. If he doesn't win the nomination, they're not supporting him. He's going to be charged soon. They're talking about it on the Sunday. CNN's reporting that he's going to be charged. Okay, I'll play the audio later, and it's going to happen soon. So, if we have a Republican Party that's undermining Donald Trump, we've lost already. It makes no difference. So, yeah.
I don't count on those mainstream media. I count on people like me or you or people who investigate all different kind of sources and we kind of think things out for.
That's right.
There's no way. You can't believe that. How long has it been? Do you know when I went to go vote for Trump 2016? I was there the whole day.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine?
Do you remember the way he was feeling and the way we were stuck to that TV and the way we were jumping when we saw the moment of truth coming? So I don't believe all that anymore. I don't believe anything. I mean, Obama came out and saying that it's a conspiracy theory, the Benghazi too. I mean, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. No. Let me tell you, I am ready to follow Trump to a third party and lose for the rest of my life.
I'll be a Trump again, 110%.
That's right. I agree. All right, Berta, take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joe from New Jersey.
Hey, Joe.
Good morning, sir.
What's up?
I just wanted to say that I think but maybe we should consider writing in Donald Trump, because the third party is very difficult because it's controlled like a mafia. Both.
No, we'll lose. Listen. When you go to buy a new car, right? And the salesman comes in with the sales manager and all this stuff, and you're negotiating, they won't negotiate. The way you get your deal is walk out and get in your old car and start to drive off. They'll come chasing you in the parking lot. What Donald Trump doesn't want to start a third party, but he knows he's not going to have any juice with them unless he's prepared to walk away and take all of us with him.
What we need to do as a people to put pressure on the Rhino Party to prevent Donald Trump from having to go that route, because it's ridiculous that we can't get a true Republican represented in the White House. He deserves another chance.
And look, I was talking earlier. Tomorrow is the Speaker vote. Whoever it is, right? I don't like McCarthy, but whoever else the other guy is, right? What are they going to do? So they have the vote, say, at 9 in the morning tomorrow. What do they start doing at 9:01? Why? What are they going to do?
Start releasing Hunter Biden porno clip.
Well, I'm not talking about what we would like them to do. What are they really going to do?
They're going to throw a party, so.
Yeah, which means nothing. They're going to do nothing. They're going to do nothing. All right, hey, listen, appreciate the call. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here with this vote tomorrow and what we're dealing with. Anna Paulina Luna, you guys know her. She's a Republican member of Congress from Florida. And I'm very disappointed in her. She's on television over the weekend talking about Kevin McCarthy versus anyone else for Speaker. And she shares that she was threatened by a member of Congress. Threatened. These are her words. I'm going to play the audio if she didn't vote for Kevin McCarthy for Speaker. Listen.
I got a very inappropriate phone call on Thursday where basically another member, this was a couple weeks ago actually, another member had called me basically to whip votes for the Speaker's race and ultimately ended up threatening me. And I let that female member know that I wasn't going to basically be threatened. I don't think that I need to put that person's name out there because I think that they are probably embarrassed at doing that.
Okay, so here we have, hold on. Hold on, Luna. We'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so here's Luna, Republican MAGA congressperson here from Florida. She says that a female Republican threatened her with something if she didn't not only vote for Kevin McCarthy, but if she didn't convince other Republicans to do so. Are you kidding me? She won't tell us the name? Why not? You know why she won't tell us the name? Because Luna's making deals. If she outs the name, she'll go the same way as Kevin McCarthy. And, Luna, everyone likes her, mostly because she's, MAGA, she's good looking. She modeled for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue and Maxim magazine. So she's gotten through life on her good looks. I know she was in the Air Force, too, and everything. But this is what I'm talking about with the establishment, what we're dealing with. She's been threatened by a female member to not only vote for him, for Speaker Kevin McCarthy, but talk others into doing it. And I guess she could use her sex appeal to do it and all.
Where basically another member, this was a couple weeks ago actually, another member had called me basically to whip votes for the Speaker's race and ultimately ended up threatening me. And I let that female member know that I wasn't going to basically be threatened. I I don't think that I need to put that person's name out there because I think that they are probably embarrassed at doing that. But the fact is that that's not uncommon, I think, to have happen. And ultimately, I'm not going to be bullied. If you are going to negotiate in good faith, but don't resort to threatening people. And ultimately, I think at the end of the day, we're talking about one of the greatest superpowers the world has ever known. That's the United States of America. So to think that these people aren't coming.
She said one of the greatest superpowers. We're not the greatest? What is she talking about? Luna needs to go back to modeling the swimsuit issue, okay, and get back at Macho magazine. This is what happens when you elect people because you're hot and you want to sleep with them. So people vote for her because she's hot. You know, I haven't seen her swimsuit issue or Maxim covers, but, you know, she must be good looking if she got picked to do those. She doesn't even think we're the... How can she be MAGA when she doesn't think we're the greatest? We're one of the greatest. What are the other... Where are we on that list, and who else is on the list, Luna? You know, and the way this goes, you want to know, if you're talking to her, and I'm waiting for the interviewer to do this, who threatened you? What did they threaten you with? If you didn't do what they wanted, what did they threaten you? What happened to you?
Be nice. I mean, I'm expecting that they're going to probably be angry and probably act a certain type of way. But again, I mean, as you guys know, I'm doing this not because I want to go hang out in DC. I'm doing it because it needs to be done right now. And so I really do have some incredible colleagues. I mean, I have the utmost respect for Representative Jim Jordan. There's some great incoming freshmen that I'm friends with. Andy Ogles, Eli Crane. I mean, I have respect for both Representative Lauren Boebert and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I do hope that the right thing is done on January 3rd. But again, I will not.
Okay, see, now, this is what I'm wondering. So I played the rest of this. She won't tell us who threatened her. And then she listed a bunch of people that she respects. And the last one she mentioned was Marjorie Taylor Greene. And we were talking last week, it came out that not only is Marjorie Taylor Greene supporting Kevin McCarthy, she's advocating for Kevin McCarthy. And you wouldn't even know there was an interviewer here. They haven't said a word yet. Do you think it was Marjorie Taylor Greene that threatened Luna? Because I was thinking, who could it be? Who could it be? And when you see that Marjorie Taylor Greene is out there becoming an advocate for him, it makes me think that it was Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know, but she's at the top of my list of suspects.
And Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I do hope that the right thing is done on January 3rd. But again, I will not be voting for anyone that does not embrace that motion to vacate the chair, and I don't care who it is.
Okay, so now she said herself, this motion to vacate the chair, they're changing the way to remove a speaker. Believe me, Kevin McCarthy's setting it up so he'll be fine. So Luna has set herself up to vote for Kevin McCarthy, right? If he agrees to this vacate the chair, Robert's rules of meetings or whatever those things are, you know, she'll go along with it. Oh my goodness. And what a shame. I do believe it was Marjorie Taylor Greene that threatened her. I can't think of anybody else who would do that and that she would cover for. This is not a fun time we're in right now. It sucks. But you know what? We'll get through it. We'll ride our way through it, and we'll do what we got to do. If that means leave the Republican Party and join Trump in a third party, we'll have to do it. You know, look what they've done. Here, Luna is being billed as I got three MAGA women in this conversation. Stefanik, Luna, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene's advocating for this jerk to be speaker. Stefanik is calling Trump names in private. She got outed. And now Luna is protecting establishment Republican women in Congress that are threatening her if she doesn't vote for McCarthy. So she's part of the establishment now too. And then she ends the interview by giving you the path of which she could support the establishment guy that's having her threatened by some woman who I believe is probably Marjorie Taylor Greene if she doesn't. I mean, this is insane what's going on here. And you see what's happening, and this is why I say, you know what, if Trump starts a third party, we got to go, because what good is it doing to us to be in this party? All right, we'll take our last break of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Bryan Craig. Our number toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard.
She didn't say what the threat was. She didn't say.
Bryan Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist.
Exactly. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Bryan. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, and our first day of the new year, of course, celebrating 46 years on the radio, the Steve Kane Show. That's crazy, isn't it? 46 years the Steve Kane Show has been on the radio here in the state of Florida. That's absolutely amazing. Now, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. You want to look good for Valentine's Day, guys. Come on. And gals, women. Everyone wants to look good. And it's New Year's resolution time. Number one New Year's resolution is to lose weight, which is, come on. Come on. How are you going to lose all that fat, all the stuff you get, all that weight you gain from overeating? It never works. You starve yourself for a few weeks, you suffer, you give up, and you can't get rid of that belly fat or the fat you have on other parts of your body. Don't torture yourself. Don't starve yourself. Don't start all these diets that aren't going to work. Any lab test now of Boca has expanded right next door to Forever Youth, and their Cool Sculpting Elite, which is FDA approved, will get rid of that fat, no matter where it is on your body, by the way. That's right. And you won't have to starve yourself and suffer and be in pain. It's completely non-invasive. And the Cool Sculpting Elite not only is FDA approved, it does everything liposuction does, but without all that rough surgery that goes on with liposuction. It freezes away your fat cells, completely non-invasive. And after they remove the fat, they sculpt your body to look in the shape that you want it to look like. Okay? It works on all areas of fat too, not just the stomach and the love handles, but if you have fat on your back, the back of your arms, multiple chins on your neck, you know, if you've got fat, the Cool Sculpting Elite, it works. And they got a huge discount for listeners of the Steve Kane Show. So mention you heard about them on the radio when you call. Okay? 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. Forever Youth is located right next door to Any Lab Test Now of Boca in the Sandalwood Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road, north of Hillsboro, on the east side of State Road 7, 441. 561-717-8081. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sandra from Indiana.
Hey, Sandra, what's up?
Hey, I was just listening to the interview you played. The problem with our government, whether Democrat, Republican, Rhino Republican, are now MAGA turncoats, is that everybody is selling their soul to the devil for money, and their hatred for one man so much that they will destroy a country.
Well, Luna's been taken care of. I mean, she's already found a path where she can vote for McCarthy, and she's making deals and everything. And you know, they all want money, financial security, power, influence, and in her case, also fame. What do you think she was doing in Sports Illustrated and Maxim? She also wants to be famous.
Well, they're selling their soul to the devil. Money is the root of all evil. And they're willing to do that to destroy a country to get their money and their power.
That's right. You know, that's gangster's paradise. It's all about the money, all about the power. That's gangster's paradise.
You had it sounded like the mafia.
Yeah, that's right. It is a mafia. It's a political mafia. That's right. All right. Hey, yeah.
And all this about with Trump's taxes and it. If anyone had basic economic 101, knows that if you meet the deductible each year when you file your taxes, you can get most of it back.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. But if he only paid $750 in taxes, I don't know if that's true. Good for him. Good for him. Hey, listen, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Surfer?
Hey, Surfer, what's up?
Okay, this is the question of the hour. Okay, you ready? Okay, Trump, when he made that phone call to Nancy Pelosi about having the National Guard come and surround the Capitol building, was that a text? Now, if it was a phone call, you know, maybe there's no recording of it or whatever, and Nancy Pelosi would say, hey, he's lying, that's a lie. But if it was a text, you'd have a thing of that was a text, and that proved this whole thing, the breach wasn't his fault.
Well, any conversation a president has, there's a transcript of it. But what I'm also curious about is, why did she just coincidentally on January 6th have this movie crew with her, filming everything that happened? Of all days, why did she have the movie crew with her on January 6th? What a coincidence. What a lucky coincidence.
But the thing is, Trump doesn't make a big thing out of this, him trying to get hold of Nancy Pelosi to bring the National Guard in. I'd be getting up I'd be in the Trump Tower with a big microphone.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi was called on this and she didn't respond.
Well, do you think if Kevin McCarthy becomes Speaker, he'll get to the bottom of that? Exactly. All right, Surfer. Good to hear from you. Long time no hear. All right, take care. He's an actual surfer. He surfs off Deerfield Beach, the oldest surfer out there, and he probably has very, very leathery skin, right? All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is a toll-free call. Steve Kane will be joining us after the top of the hour break. Our number 1-888-465-2631. And I know it's not fun, and it's a rough week, and all kinds of craziness is going on. But they are now, if you watch the mainstream media, they're doing all the foreshadowing. They're setting the stage for President Trump to be charged Kinzinger was on CNN over the weekend, this snake.
I didn't know, I'm not a lawyer, not a Justice Department guy, didn't necessarily know, is he guilty of a crime or not?
I like this. He's not a lawyer, he has no background, so he's not a legal expert, but he's going to render a legal opinion anyway.
President Trump ultimately will be charged for crime.
Look, when I got into this, when we started this process, I didn't know, I'm not a lawyer, not a Justice Department guy, didn't necessarily know, is he guilty of a crime or not? Obviously, what he did from a presidential perspective, from an oath perspective, is a problem. As we've gotten into this, I look and I'm like, yeah, if this is not a crime, I don't know what is. If a president can incite an insurrection and not be held accountable, then really there's no limit to what a president can do.
Incite? When did he was cleared of that? Where did he incite an insurrection?
And so, yeah, I do think ultimately when we get to where we're going to go, I think the Justice Department will do the right thing. I think he will be charged, and I frankly think he should be. Everything.
Even though he's not a lawyer, he's rendering illegal. He should be charged. You're going to hear a lot of this talk this week until it happens. They're starting to get people used to the idea so that when it happens, it's not so controversial. Now, if people do something because of someone, that doesn't make you guilty. John Hinckley shot Reagan and said he did it for Jodie Foster, or the son of Sam said his dog told him to do it or something. You know what I mean? You don't blame the dog. You don't blame Jodie Foster. If someone does something because they're nuts and they do something and they blame you for it. I've never heard of such things. Now, I got a very important question to ask you. Do you suffer from neuropathy? Oh, man, Steve suffered from neuropathy. And we were a little concerned about it. Neuropathy is terrible. It's torture. It's a disability. And doctors will tell you there's no treatment. Steve went to all kinds of doctors, even to neurologists, which are supposed to be specialists in this field. And they told him, no, that's your life now. Neuropathy, all that suffering, that's your new life. Just get used to it. And we did some searching. We're a little concerned because, doing a 7-day cruise and all with every neuropathy symptom there is would not be an easy thing for Steve. And we did some searching, and we found Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Not only do they have a treatment for neuropathy, they have a treatment that works. I know it works because I've seen the miraculous recovery Steve has had, and I've met listeners, as has Steve, that have had an amazing recovery from their neuropathy symptoms with the treatment that does work at Lighthouse Medical Center. Steve had all the symptoms for neuropathy, all of them. Numbness, pain, burning and tingling in the hands and feet, muscle weakness, dizziness, muscle twitching, this feeling of pins and needles in your hands and feet, all of it. And there's other symptoms too. Steve had every single one of them, and they're all gone now because of this incredible treatment from Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Give them a call now. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio and take advantage of the no-charge consultation that they offer for Steve Kane listeners, okay? Online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com, and here's the number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. One more time, that's 754-222-6642 for Lighthouse Medical Center. By the way, not only do they have a no-charge consultation, Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano has been in practice with the same family in Pompano for 50 years. I think we're moving on 51 now this year. That's amazing. With the same family over 50 years. I know, it's amazing. 754-222-6642. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Steve will join us after the top of the hour. We'll take that break and be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the... Here's your True Oldies ABC News update. ABC News now. I'm Connie. Heavy snow and rain New Year's Eve brings flooding in parts of Northern California in the new year. Floodwaters killed a person in a car.
Filling sandbags on New Year's Day, now protecting your grandparents' home in Sacramento County, California. Stephanie Lopez.
Not a bad way to start the new year. Right?
Evacuation orders in Point Pleasant. Floodwaters from the Cosumnes River surged over levees and crashed into cars and trucks on Highway 99 Sunday.
Big storm moving east, bringing snow to the Rockies and Plains. Avengers and Hurt Locker star Jeremy Renner is being treated for plowing snow. Renner is 51, is in critical but stable condition after he was airlifted from the area of Mount Rose Highway.
It is most definitely a holiday today because there's not a car in the parking lot of the building here. This is like an office building, so I don't get it. I don't understand. A lot of holidays.
Organize your students' fight.
A little less than a minute, we'll be back. That's exactly right, Nacho. No doubt.
Nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
And now another community first message from Rhodes. When an auto accident occurs, stop immediately. Do not obstruct traffic and secure your valuables. Obtain the names, phone numbers, and addresses of the other driver and any witnesses. Call
So if the first was on Saturday, today would have been a holiday too? This is just crazy.
561-570-5700 or robeslovehoop.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Bryan Craig.
All right. Welcome back. Third and final hour of the first show of the year. I'm Bryan. Steve joining us. I got to tell you, you were right about something, Steve. Well, yesterday I was talking to you on the phone Sunday, and you said, are we working tomorrow? And I said, of course. And you said, well, isn't it a holiday? And I said, the first is today. Tomorrow's the second. Today is a holiday. And I'm looking out in the parking lot. The only car in the parking lot out here is mine and the board ops car. There's no one at work here in this office building today. It's a holiday. I don't know if the banks are opened or not, but what the heck? We got to stop working these holidays, Steve.
Well, that was your idea.
Yeah. Well, it's easier when the studio's like next to your bed. like you. You know, I have to get up and shower and drive here and everything else. You know, it's a big effort for me to get here. I don't just, well.
Number one.
Yes.
And what I'm seeing, I've done my best to stay positive.
Day one of what? Day one of what?
Well, today is this. They start deciding about the first order of business is the speaker, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. The government's closed today. It's a federal holiday. Today is a federal holiday. It's called New Year's. Yeah. Well, that sounds like where our callers have been today. No, this is a holiday. It's a federal holiday. It's called New Year's Day Observed. It's the actual name of the holiday. New Year's Day Observed. So the government's closed today.
I've done my best to stay positive throughout this interim slow period here, in hopes that my Republican Party is going to come through in the end and get its act together.
Not going to happen.
So far, to be very honest, I see no sign of it. No sign. They're worse than the Democrats. I mean, listening to what's going on.
Now you're getting it.
I mean,
I just say that, so I saw. Yeah.
In listening to Fox most of the week, did. The name that comes up more likely than Biden, because I can't conceive of this old fossil getting through the next two and then a term of 4 years. The name I hear most as a second alternative is Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that's right.
And of course, she's got the. So what you're going to have is a Democratic Party made up of two constituencies. One, the Obamas, fighting against the Clintons. And that's a real lose-lose situation as far as I'm concerned. And with what I see going on in the Republican Party, it looks really awful.
Well, what I was talking about earlier, Steve, was this. Can you hear me? I don't know if we're okay. Yeah.
Hopeless. If Biden and Clinton, those two contingencies got in a knockdown drag out for the Democratic nomination, Trump could win as a third party candidate.
And that scenario, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Well, the deal with the third party, is what I was saying to our callers earlier. Right now, the Republican establishment is trying to figure out ways for Trump not to get the nomination. And what Trump is saying is that if he does not get the nomination, then he may go third party. And that's a negotiating tactic. For him to win in this negotiation with these establishment creeps, he has to be willing to pick up and leave with all of us. Would you join a third party if Trump started one, Steve? I would.
Circumstances, absolutely.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, there is no way on God's green earth I could ever vote for Hillary Clinton. No way. Biden. So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Now, but we got to get our priorities straight, because there are things that are much more important than all of these things. And that, of course, is, we got to learn how to be more inclusive to LGBTQIAs. And, yeah. Not enough. I found this audio. I want to play it for you. This is a school teacher who made a video that he posted on TikTok, and there are 3 ways to make your classroom, as a teacher, as he is, more inclusive to LGBTQIA pluses. I don't know what the A's are. I is intersex. A, I don't know. Plus, I don't know. But these are 3 ways to make your classroom more inclusive to LGBTQIA plus students and their families. Okay? And maybe we need to do this in the Republican Party, right? Here's how you do it. Listen, more inclusive to these people.
ways that you can make your classroom a little more inclusive to LGBTQIA plus students this coming up school year. One, let's get rid of boy-girl classrooms going into next school year.
Okay, so no more boys. You know, like you know how sometimes they sit kids in classroom, boy, girl, boy, girl. Don't do that anymore. Don't do that. It's too genderized.
You can divide your students by animal names, by different colors. You can organize your students by table numbers. You can do a lot of different things without buying into that gender binary that students, regardless of if they can verbalize it, may not quite fit into. Number two, assuming that a child's gender also tells you what kind of games they want to play or what kind of toys that they're going to be.
Okay, so don't identify your student. This is a man talking, by the way, in this clip, if you're wondering. It's a man. Yeah, it's school teacher. A male. Well, I don't want to genderize him, but he looks like a man, and he's, you know. But, yeah, this is a man. So, also, don't identify boys or girls in your classroom, and don't get them involved in games that are based on gender.
Does a disservice for exposing your children to all the different types of play and relationships that they can form in a school setting. 3, representation matters in the way that we...
I got the video. I'm looking at the guy. It's a man, Steve.
Relationships that they can form in a school setting. 3, representation matters in the way that we ferociously try to represent all of the different cultural identities of our students. I think we should also do that with their LGBTQIA plus identities, whether that be gender expression, what their families might look like, and more.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's a man. It's just, it's weird what's good. You know, when my daughter was in school, I went to every parents' night from kindergarten through 12th grade. Every parent needs to do that. If this were one of my daughter's students, I would have gotten her out of the class if I met this guy on parents' night. My goodness, Steve. We've got so many problems going on in this country. We've got like more problems going on than we can even deal with. And you've got grandkids that are going to school through all this stuff, Steve. I hope your kids are keeping track of who their teachers are. All right, listen, we'll take our first break of the hour. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I am shocked there is not a single car in the parking lot here, except mine. I mean, it's just unbelievable. We just had 2 weeks of holidays. I don't understand why there's a holiday today, but there is. But we'll take our break. We'll be back. Exactly. We'll be right back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now.
And the numbers in the office are off too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sloman's Home Security is celebrating their 100th year anniversary. To celebrate, the next 40 True Oldies channel listeners who call 1-800-ALARM-ME will get a free doorbell camera and free home security system professionally installed from Sloman's when you use the local Central Station monitoring. That's 100 years of being the best in total home security. For over 100 years, the Sloman Shield has had your back. Trust the best in total home security. To celebrate, the first 40 True Oldies listeners will get a limited time offer. You're getting a state-of-the-art LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, a backup battery, and a doorbell camera for free with installation of your Sloman Shield when you use Sloman's low-cost Central Station monitoring. Get real home security, professional monitoring, professional installation, and a free customized home security system. Call Sloman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME. 100 years of family-owned, dedicated service. Sloman's, 1-800-ALARM-ME.
And building restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs.
You're getting paid to stay home. Oh my goodness.
Concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractors. At LaPorta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them every step of the way. At LaPorta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or visit us on our website at laportacontracting.com. That number again is 954-604-4602.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
I never thought I'd care about gardening until I bought a house in the suburbs. But now I find myself in conversations about liquid fertilizer, and I wonder, am I the
That's right,
fertilizer
Nacho.
now? No way. Everyone knows the ratio between phosphorus and nitrogen, right? Yeah, I'm still totally cool.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Not with Dr. Gupta at BRYAN Dental Care. The dental work is painless, and the prices are painless too. Call today, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Bryan Craig.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here, and today's the first day, Steve, of celebrating the Steve Kane Show on the radio for 46 years in the state of Florida, solidifying the longest-running radio show. Within 4 more years, it'll be the Big 50. Now, I want to talk about Anne Marie's. Anne Marie's is closed on Mondays, but they're open every other day of the week. And Anne Marie's, it's hard to pick a favorite, but and my New Year's resolution is to have every dish on the Anne Marie's menu. But I have my favorites when I go over there that I order every time. Like, no matter what you order, the lobster ravioli appetizer, which is also available as an entree, is a must-have. The lobster ravioli was actually the first bite I had at Anne Marie's was the lobster ravioli appetizer. We were over there for lunch. We ordered it as an appetizer. And when I took that first bite, I knew we were in a special place because it tastes so good. Everything is homemade at Anne Marie's. And yeah, they use fresh Maine lobster in the lobster ravioli, and they also use the claw meat of that Maine lobster, which is the best meat in the lobster, and it goes with everything. Whether you're getting lasagna or pizza, the lobster ravioli goes very well with it. Now, it's not just available as an appetizer, it is available as an entree, and it's a must-have no matter what you order. And, of course, the pizzas are out of this world. The crust at Anne Marie's is the best pizza crust I've ever had in my life, Steve. It just is. Oh, yeah, by far. And I've been... Yeah, I would say. And I've been searching for Sicilian pizza here in South Florida for years and not been able to find Sicilian pizza that you could even call Sicilian pizza until I had the Sicilian over at Anne Marie's. Now, listen, they are closed on Mondays. They're open every other day of the week, and they're open for lunch. They have great lunch specials, dinner, of course, and takeout. They're located in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road in the same plaza as the movie theater. Yeah, you know, Steve, here's the thing about all this. I'm so disgusted by these Republicans that I'm hearing about today. But I'll tell you, you know, I got to find some hope where I can find it. And Juanita Broderick, who was twice raped by Bill Clinton, he raped her twice. And that happened because he raped her, he arrested, and then did it again. Isn't that terrible? And Juanita Broderick, she just posted something up on Twitter over the weekend. She said, "I'm waiting for the Fauci files." Elon Musk responded to Bill Clinton rape victim Juanita Broderick and said they're coming soon. And they're expected to come this week. The next batch of the Twitter files are going to be all about Fauci. And the media are already doing damage control. They're saying both the Trump and Biden administration, blah, blah, blah. They've said this with other releases of the Twitter files, and I haven't seen anything come out about Trump doing anything. But they put that in the story to make you think that Trump did something and was involved. They keep saying that, but I haven't seen anything come out. And, you know, when these Fauci files come out this week, it's going to be must read, no doubt about it. But the thing about the Twitter files, Steve, You know, if the government, if the deep state were only controlling Twitter, it'd be bad, but we'd be like, okay. But if they're doing this with Twitter, they're doing it with everything. Like, what I mean, like the cable news, the newspapers, and all the other websites and everything. So we really have zero free press in this country, outside of radio. Radio is it. That's it, us. But other than radio, there is no free press in our society. And these Twitter files that have been coming out have been incredibly revealing, but the media really have, the media have been covering them up. They're downplaying it, yeah. And, and it's a story about free speech in the media. Twitter is social media. And the fact that they're downplaying it so much in all of the media shows you that the media is all controlled by the same people that were controlling Twitter. The only amazing thing to me that's really shocking about the Twitter files is that they actually let Elon Musk buy it. I mean, I don't know how that happened. I am shocked that they did not stop it, but I just think they're not embarrassed anymore. These things that we're finding out, they used to do in secret, and now we're finding that they're finding they don't have to be secret. They just do everything out in the open. Right? And I really feel so powerless, when they're in the old days when they were hiding what they were doing, they were afraid of the public knowing. Now they just do everything out in the open.
The scary thing, you touched on it just a minute ago. The scary thing is that we are, when I say we, I'm talking about talk radio, radio and television. We are the country's best hope on this.
Not television, just radio.
I don't know. I still think a lot of the truth comes out on Fox. Not that they wanted to, and not that Murdoch doesn't try to control it, but this weekend was a good example of it. When they get up there in a free forum, the individual stars that they have their heads screwed on straight, and a lot of truth gets out despite Murdoch can't stop all of it. He can't edit all of it.
Steve, the Trump derangement syndrome is so strong in the media. This Idaho killer, the story is being covered, but if this were 5 or 10 years ago, they would have huge news crews out on site, and they don't. Right? The media aren't even traveling there.
I mean, the story hasn't really started yet. Today, actually, what is it, tomorrow, I think, when he gets back to Idaho, I think that's when the information is going to start to come out.
Yeah. And
use this to take attention off of the things that they don't want us.
Yeah, maybe. Like the speaker tomorrow. One of the family members of a family member of the one girl, the one that they always show in the bikinis, a family member of hers said that the killer is familiar to them, that there was some connection between him and the girl.
Fascinating case. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how.
Well, I was. Well, I was talking about this at the top of the hour, at 6 when it first started today. Well, but his criminology professor wrote the biography of BTK, and is, as crazy as this sounds, is friends with BTK. This lady professor, and so he sought this professor out, and they believe that he was in communication with BTK, which is very unheard of. I mean, outside of movies, where like a killer is in contact with like a famous killer in prison. That's what Silence of the Lambs was a lot about. That the killer was in contact with Lecter, and they actually think that he was in contact with BTK, probably through the professor, and the professor, who's a TV interview junkie, will not do any interviews now, probably because she put the two of these monsters together. But the idea that these 4 murders are his first kills, that chances of that to me are slim to none. Really? There's no way that that's this guy's first kills. Would you agree with that or not? Something that big and brutal the first time?
Hard to speculate. But it's hard for something that dramatically grotesque to occur without it reaching the public view.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll find out. You think it was his first kill? 4 people, and he took on 4 people, and one of them a man on the first time? I don't know. Listen, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break. When we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. This is a bigger holiday than like Christmas Eve. I mean, there is not a car in this parking lot. The whole country is, I guess, hung over, except us, Steve. We'll take our break and be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Bryan Craig.
You think Wonderman's good call?
Probably, yeah. He'll probably be, yeah. Yeah, to me, I don't even pay attention to holidays or even the weekends. It's just, you know, I don't get this endless holiday stuff that's going on.
Your I-95 commute completely up to speed. However, over on the Turnpike southbound side, under speed at Southern Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue. This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. That's Traffic. I'm Zach.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC is kicking off 2023 with exciting events live at the Paddock Restaurant. Make plans for dinner shows, Joey and Maria's Comedy Italian Wedding, and Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis on Valentine's Day. Then get ready to laugh with comedians the Flynn Brothers, Andrew Dice Clay, and Joe DeVito. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Bryan Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go back for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Have you been told that you have bone-on-bone or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis? Well, then come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We have been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754.
Well, there's definitely a reason why the professor will not do interviews, because she's big into doing them. Now all of a sudden she doesn't want to talk to anybody? Are you kidding me? Oh, by the way, this hat is unfortunately made in Vietnam. I just noticed. A listener gave me this, made in Vietnam. Can you imagine? Well, Vietnam's moving towards capitalism, so... I first thought, you know, it's funny, it caught my eye because I thought, oh, this hat's made in America, because I saw the flag, and then it says, made in Vietnam. It's a nice hat, I don't care, I'll still wear it. I don't know. Then something. A paint. My wife had me doing some painting yesterday. But it tricked you with the American flag, but no, made in Vietnam. But it's a nice hat. This hat, it's got, you can see up close, when you look at it close, it's got the cat hair. It's got the presidential seal, like, raised on it. Pretty cool. And it's got Trump's signature. And that's raised too. So this is a nice hat. I don't care if it was made in Vietnam. I'll still wear it. Even though Vietnam's kind of trying to trick us and make us think it was made in America with the flag, but you know.
All your favorite top quality brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish, Jensen, Scott, and Bruce. They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626.
Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Trolls. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You with us, Steve? You know, this Idaho killer, you know, he reminds me so much of Bundy. And the reason that is what, you know, we know he was studying criminology, they think, so he could be a better killer. And I was talking earlier, a lot of people don't know this, but Ted Bundy was in law school. And he was in law, they didn't have criminology back then like today, right? But he went to law school so he could know how to beat the system. But could you imagine if this guy had killed black college students, what the media would be doing with this story? Oh my goodness. Well, it's a big story, but they would try to make it a race war out of it if he had murdered black students. Oh, then they would be camped out in Idaho, right? Yeah. I know that's how they could do it, you know. But he killed 4 white people, so you know there's not the racial divide. Although I did hear some of them say, well, if he killed 4 black students, would this even be in the news? It's because he killed 4 white people, and 3 of them are girls. No, believe me, if he killed 4 black kids, it would not only be a bigger story, it would be they would be causing everything would be about race with this guy. When he is just, you look at his mugshot, he looks insane, man. He doesn't see. Yeah, but he doesn't seem to mind that he got arrested. You know, he doesn't seem to mind it at all. Oh, they wanted to, yeah.
Horrible and disgusting as the whole thing is, it's going to make for fascinating talk because it's going to be an intricate story. There's going to be a...
Well, his professor that he had that wrote the book on BTK, is friends with BTK. That's another Bundy-like thing, and a lot of people have forgotten a lot about Bundy, and I guess because Bundy, even though he did do the FSU killings in Florida, he did his killings out west, but he's infamous in Florida, very famous in Florida, and this is where the trial was. But I guess so. But if you remember with Bundy, see this guy here, this Idaho killer has the professor that has the serial killer connection, and he's got that connection with her. Bundy was friends with Ann Rule, the true crime author. In fact, I don't know if he dated Ann Rule. I can't remember, but he may have dated Ann Rule. If I think. And,
collection of something like that.
Yeah, and she had that connection. And when Bundy got caught, Ann Rule was very vocal about it, and she made a whole career out of it, made herself very famous. Well, everyone knows she's the crime author. She wrote her first book. Her first big book was the book on Bundy. She wrote the first big book on Bundy, which was it The Stranger Beside Me or something? What was the name of Ann Rule's book about Bundy? But she's written like 500 true crime books since then. But Ann Rule was all over the place doing interviews when Bundy got caught. This professor who, A Stranger Beside Me, that was the name of the book. Yeah, A Stranger Beside Me. And I always thought that beside me just seems like a bed reference. So I don't know if they dated or anything, if anybody knows about that. But this professor of his that people think may have connected him to BTK, She's not doing any interviews, and she was not only did tons of interviews, she did interviews like about this case, and she really looks like a dope because she was talking about this case in the classroom with him there. So this idea that she's some criminologist, profiler, serial killer expert, she had one in her classroom, and she had no idea. You know, I mean, it's, I don't know, but it's been a long time since the media are so obsessed with their Trump hatred that stories like this used to dominate the news, but when there's a story outside of their Trump hate and Trump derangement, they really don't cover it too much anymore, not like the old days.
Charged, that's going to take over everything.
Oh my, well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, Steve.
Remember when we look back at it, remember I predicted that's going to be the turning point in this whole story, is when he's charged, that's when I think the public is going to start to turn this issue.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be outrage at last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, other than the two of us.
Go by what's going on the air, we're the only ones who are upset about it.
Well, that'll be the true crime story they'll cover. They'll cover that a lot. All right, let's take some calls. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is John.
Hey, John.
Vietnamese stuff.
Hey, John.
Most of the Vietnamese new businesses are old Vietnam veterans that fought with us, the good guys.
Oh, you're okay. Oh, John. Since it's a holiday, John. Since it's a holiday, I'll let you. We'll talk about this because But what he's talking about is he was talking about something I was talking about during the break on YouTube. I'm wearing a Trump hat, and when I wear Trump hats, people, liberals like to ask me where it was made, and I took this one off, and I thought it was made in the United States because it's got an American flag on the tag, but it was made in Vietnam. Yeah. So anyway, that's what John's talking about. All right. Well, I appreciate the call. The sad thing, though, about Vietnam these days is Vietnam is moving towards capitalism, and we're moving towards, I guess, totalitarianism, communism. I mean, exactly. We should be as free as Vietnam is today in so many ways, right? Oh, my goodness. Ugh. I don't get this holiday thing today, Steve. You can tell by the calls. If I would have known today was a holiday, I probably would have taken off. What made you think it was a holiday? Because you told me, I was like, no way, Steve. It's the 2nd.
A big holiday occurs on a weekend, on a Sunday. They give you the next.
I guess holidays have not much meaning to me because I had no idea. I would have no idea.
I found something out. Listen to our show.
Who?
I found out over the weekend. Hulk Hogan is a listener.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Well, how I found out. I used to do ring announcing for the WWF. You know that.
Yep.
How many years?
It goes back so long they were the WWF instead of the WWE, which they are now.
It was a long time ago. And actually, it was a paying job. I actually got paid to do it, which is not a lot. Nothing you could retire on, but, and I used to be backstage when they were warming up and everything, and I kind of got to know the guys. I put together a book of pictures that I took of all the wrestlers, and I got them signed, which was kind of a nice thing. But anyway, we were signed to, Hulk Hogan was coming in. So what they would do is they would send their stars in the night they were going to fight, and we would do a show with them to promote the fight. And like with Hulk was flying in on a private plane. We had to pick him up at the airport, and I had 2 of my kids with me. I had Jenny and I think it was Courtney. And we picked it. They were so excited, and we got to meet him in the car. And he was a real nice guy. Anyway, my daughter Jenny is now in a band, and she went to a party over the New Year's weekend, and who was there but Hulk Hogan? And
Get out of town. What kind of parties your daughter getting invited to?
the band, so now she's running in a...
Wow. Hulk Hogan, she went to a party and Hulk Hogan just happened to be there?
That's not the amazing part. The amazing part is when she mentioned to him about the previous connection we'd had with him, that we picked him up there, when he remembered her, although she looks nothing. She was a little kid.
Yeah.
And he, right when she said she's Steve Kane's daughter, he lit up with it. He said, "Oh, I listened to the Steve Kane show."
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So, Hulk, if you're out there, Hulkster, we love you. Give us a call sometime. We'd love to swap stories with you. And Ginny's traveling in an interesting group now that she's with the artists.
Well, you know, Hulk Hogan very well may have called. You know, there was somebody, I didn't even tell you about this, Steve. We got a call on the air one day last week. In fact, I haven't told anybody about this. From a celebrity called this last week on the air with a fake name. And this has happened before. It's happened several times when famous people have called us using fake names. And then I find out later, there was one last week. Hulk Hogan may have called us and just not used his name. I love Hulk Hogan. I grew up on that guy. Oh, my gosh.
His voice. He's got a very distinctive voice.
Mm-hmm. He was so, you know, I'll tell you, he was so good in Rocky 3. Remember Rocky had that match with Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3? Yeah. Do you remember what Hulk Hogan's character's name was in Rocky 3? Let's see if anybody in the audience knows. I'll throw it out since it's a holiday that we didn't know about. We shouldn't even be here today. I'll throw it out on the air. I know. If anybody remembers Hulk Hogan, don't Google it. Hulk Hogan's character's name in Rocky 3. That was the first time I heard of Hulk Hogan. And I was at the Boca Mall a couple years ago and saw Hulk Hogan's daughter shopping at the mall, Brooke Hogan. She's beautiful. She does look like him, and she's tall. You would not mess around with Brooke Hogan. She would kick your butt. You would kick your butt. But yeah, I was shocked. Now, Mr. T was Clobber Lang in Rocky 3, but what was the name of Hulk Hogan's character in Rocky 3? I remember. Clobber Lang was Mr. T, but that's awesome. Yeah. All right. Anyway, listen, we'll take our last break, and you guys can think about that. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631 is our number. If you can remember Hulk Hogan's name in Rocky 3. And it's a strange name, and I don't know how they came up with it. It's a very strange name. When you hear it, you'll know. All right, we'll and I'll give you a hint. Part of the name was used in Hulk Hogan's television show that he filmed at Walt Disney World, and Hulk Hogan had a TV show. His co-star was Jack Lemmon's son, Chris Lemmon. And part of his character's name in Rocky 3 was also part of the title of that. I know a lot about Hulk Hogan, as you can tell. I get to maybe more than I know a lot of. All right, listen. Let's take our break. We'll be back with the Gold Report.
The Cold.
Oh, the line's dead.
Hard.
So we're gonna go to commercial. We're gonna call back when we get back.
Right here on the Steve Kane Show.
A sniffle here and a
So he
sneeze
said
there.
that the
Oh, okay. He wasn't ready? Oh, okay.
So he's gonna just do it like
He may not have the number.
Allergy. Find out
He may not have the number.
Well, I told my phone because he said give him a few minutes.
Okay.
I told my phone back
Or
when we're
any
done.
lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square.
He's like, I didn't know you guys were open today.
We're always. I didn't either. I didn't know it was a holiday.
954
906-5983.
If I knew today was a holiday, I would have taken off. The phones are always slow on holidays after like this. I had no idea.
561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergens.
Well, I think they did. There's no cars out here. Yeah. People that have jobs now.
Steve Kane Show. Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of
No, the new studio is next door. I thought I was going to be in there today, but it's not quite ready yet.
954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside, everything homemade.
2 weeks, yeah.
Comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty
That's
sauces that will
Star Trek Generations next week, Tuesday.
in Coral Springs, a mile west.
No, this is made in Vietnam, so not immigrants, made by Vietnamese in Vietnam.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost.
But you know, the Vietnamese, anytime I go to Trump rallies, there's a lot of Vietnamese MAGA people there. You might have seen them too. If you've been to Trump rallies, I see a lot of Vietnamese people at Trump events, always. I go to Mar-a-Lago. There's not one time I've been to Mar-a-Lago I've not run into Vietnamese people.
4633 BrightonDentalCare.com.
All right, we are back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated. William, we did not know today was a holiday, and the banks are not open today, but gold, silver, platinum, it's always moving. How you doing, William?
Great. Happy New Year to everybody. And yes, we are closed today. That's a legal holiday because of how the holidays fell, similar to Christmas. But to give everybody the update as far as how we closed out the year, gold closed on a very positive note, up $9.10 on our last trading day of the year, closing out the year at $1,824.50, while silver was up 10 cents at $23.98. Platinum gained $13 on our last trading day of the year for $1,069 close, and palladium closed out the year at $1,719, down $29. So very bullish close for the year, and we're anticipating continued rallies in the precious metals going forward into 2023. So we're very excited about our Steve Kane listeners who have been very attentive to our report, and we appreciate all the business and friendships that we've made as a result of our being on your show for almost 20 years.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah. You know, William, of course, you know, people can come in. You're not open today. You're open tomorrow, regular business hours. But can you talk to people who can't make it in? Maybe they're in another part of town. Maybe they don't drive, or maybe they're in another state. How they can do business with you even if they don't come into your store?
Absolutely. It's very simple, and we do it all the time. We ship all over the world and have for almost 60 years now. You just pick up the phone, call our toll-free number. You can contact us as to whatever you're interested in doing, whether you're just you need some kind of over-the-phone verbal appraisal, or you wish to purchase some metals. You can lock in the price right there on the phone and send us the funds and the money, and we'll ship it to you immediately. And certain size orders are shipped totally postage paid. So always insured and always very safe.
That's right. That's right. And William Youngerman's number, again, closed today, but because today, I'm the only person, William Youngerman, that did not know today's a holiday. That's why we're here today. But he'll be open tomorrow, and that's why we woke you up, I guess, for the report. But William Youngerman will be open tomorrow. The number 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngman, have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, okay, let's go back to our phone, Steve, and you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, David.
Hey, David.
Hey, Dave, how are you
How are
doing?
you?
Good.
Oh my God, I used to listen with Neil Rogers and Fat Rich. I was a courier for the bank from all the way up to Palm Beach. I used to listen to you every day. I'm 83 years old, but that's only a number. I used to look. I said, oh, I can't believe you guys are still alive. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here. I lost my wife and another.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Let me ask you, did you just rediscover the show?
Well, no, recently, because I haven't, because there was a death in the family, and I had to take care of my wife, let her rest in peace. And I used to listen. I was a courier for the, I could have mentioned the SunTrust Bank, and I used to have to drive all the way up to Palm Beach County, and I used to listen to Fat Rich. I don't know. I know he's probably gone. I know.
Fat Rich. I don't remember. Of course, everyone knows Neil, but Fat Rich is not a name that's familiar to me. I don't know. Do you know Fat Rich, Steve is? Do you know who that is?
Neil's cadre.
Really? Fat Rich. I don't remember that one.
I only know they used to call him Fat Rich. And I used to go to Pompano race track, and I used to see them over there because I used to be a
no, it's not
security. Security. I worked security at it's still there, the racetrack in Pompano Beach.
Oh yeah.
I had a run-in with Neil at Pompano Park.
Oh yes, you did.
It was a short period. I'll let Brian tell the story.
No, Yes.
And we just happened to run into each other at Pompano Park. And Neil, who tended not to be very aggressive in person, was so upset with me, he came over and we had words.
He was pissed. It was about the gays. Something you said about gays. I'm serious, Steve. It was when you were involved with that Glisten stuff.
Oh, that's not gays. That's gay activists.
Yeah. Now, I stayed out of that because I saw you guys were going at it. But yeah. Hey, well, listen, it's sorry about your loss. I hope you did a tough time.
Well, now I am. I called my brother. He gets pretty good pension from the war. I was in Germany during the Berlin crisis when they broke up the wall.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're like
Khrushchev was president.
Khrushchev. Oh my. Okay. Now you mean Premier of Russia, not okay. Of America. That's okay. But thanks for your call. All right. Good morning. You're on. Hey, Steve. It's a holiday. The phones are slow, so I'm not being very selective in the last stretch here. Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? See what I mean? I'm not being selective at all.
Hallelujah, stars.
I think, we're the reason we're here. Hold on, Doris. Hold on, Doris. Now hold on, Doris. Hold on. I'll just tell you, why I had no idea today was a holiday. Everybody else knows that if a holiday's on a weekend, the Monday after it falls on I did not know this, or we would probably not be here today. But I came in because I think this is the first show of the year. We got to be here. People are expecting us, and I don't know. I'm not into ageism or anything, but the average age of the callers today has been a little higher than normal. Just a little higher than normal. Well, our callers are all, Biden's peers, Joe Biden's peers. Anyway, Doris, go ahead.
Listen, I haven't given up on the chairmanship of the committee. I'm hoping it's going to be Scalise, but somebody has to put his name out there. And years ago, I drove up to Washington, and I picketed outside the White House because I loved President Reagan. I had a big white sign that said, "God bless President Reagan, Ronald Reagan, a great American, a great president." And what we need are a couple of women with great big white signs saying...
Wait, we need a couple of women with great big what? What did you say? We need
Those big, like I used to carry when we used to go to the abortion centers. And it'll say, Representative Scalise is a survivor.
It's Scalise. It's Scalise. It's Scalise. Scalise.
Jeez.
All right. Hey, Doris, thanks for the call. Oh, my goodness. There's only 3 minutes left, Steve, so let's see. Oh, my goodness. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Oh, boy. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Here you go.
No, I was disconnected before, and I just want...
No, you weren't disconnected. See what I mean? Well, thank you. David, thank you. Thank you.
If you were a woman, that's your age.
83.
Oh, my goodness.
May 29, 1939.
Oh, my goodness.
39
John
is when I was
Kennedy's
born.
birthday.
Yep.
John Kennedy's birthday was the same, May 29.
Very neat.
All right, take care. Thanks for calling again. All right, take care. Oh, my goodness. Well, we don't have 5. We only have 2.5 minutes to go, Steve, and then we're out. The suffering will be over. All right, let's go. Good. I love the audience too. Okay, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling you from Lake Park. I just want to say it was Happy New Year, and it was hot at the Houlihan.
No, that you're answering the wrong question. We were asking for Hulk Hogan's name. Hulk Hogan. Now, Steve just gave the answer. So everybody else on hold, just hang up. Steve gave the answer to the trivia question. Thanks for the call. Oh, my goodness, Steve. Not a contest, but I was, it's a holiday, phone slow, so I thought I would, do what all those no talents do. Throw out a question and get some answers. But you're not supposed to get it. Yes, Thunder Lips was the name of Hulk Hogan's character in Rocky III. That's correct. And the show that he filmed at Walt Disney World, that he starred in with Jack Lemmon's son, was it not Peter Lemmon? Jack Lemmon's son, I can't remember his name, but it was called Thunder in Paradise. No, there's only a minute left. I don't have to do that. You have to be very, Thunder in Paradise was the name of that show, by the way, that Hulk did in Orlando. Chris Lemmon, he co-starred with Chris Lemmon. It was Thunder in Paradise, and Michael York played a villain on one episode of it. And his lair was one of the Disney rides at Epcot Center. I know too much about Hulk Hogan. I'm sure he asks himself that all the time, Steve. But I don't know. Listen, if you're on hold, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll raise the bar of the content a little bit. We got to keep track of these holidays, Steve. We're working too many of them. The fun starts tomorrow, that's right. Well, today is the first day of the 46th year of broadcasting of the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio for 46 years this year. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane has been here with us. Callers on hold. Stand by. We will be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., and we'll talk to you then. Everyone, thanks so much for tuning in today. The show was a lot of fun. I wish I would have known it was a holiday. See you tomorrow.
WWNN AM Pompano Beach.
All right, guys.